Flooded completely. Couldn't stop it. Nothing we can do to stop it. Our entire game room is now flooded. I don't know if you can see how much water is in here, but it's a lot on everything. A lot more now is ruined than last time. We're doing our best to stop it from getting into the other rooms, but as you can probably see right here, not doing so well. I am beyond upset right now.
Hi. I think it's been about a week or so since I've uploaded, and if you're a fan of this channel, you'll know that I upload usually every day or every other day, so it's been a while. And no, I haven't been addicted to playing Dead Cells so long that I just haven't made any content. Actually, I haven't even played my Switch since that video, because I think it was literally the day after that, or very shortly after that, maybe 2 days later, our house flooded.
Kim went to get sandbags like 20 minutes ago. It feels like forever. I've had to take all the curtains off the windows and the shower curtain because it's come down the hallway. So I've got a lot of curtains and bed sheets, everything we have spare to try and stop it from hitting the TV at least. I've unplugged all of it, but these are the games that we boxed up because the game room flooded. So we boxed them up here, but now they're kind of sat on the floor getting wet and I got nowhere else to put them, so nervous breakdown is like current. It's like happening right now. Like, this is a nervous breakdown. There's nothing else I can do right now other than watch my house flood while I wait for Kim to get back.
I mean, most of the stuff, unfortunately, I mean, it's unfortunate that anything got ruined at all, but most of the stuff that got ruined was the stuff in your game room.
Yeah.
All the furniture, anything that was in the game room pretty much that was on the floor is just done.
So we called, and the story with the landlord is going to be something we can get into at some point. But we called the lady that owns the house. She's like 95 years old and senile. She lives in Arizona, and it's so hard. Arkansas. It's so hard getting her to do anything for us. We had a broken air conditioning in summer for like 3 months because we couldn't get it fixed. It was brutal. If you watch the channel throughout summer, you would have seen that. So we called her, and the first thing she said when I said the house is flooded was, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you that the house floods when it rains."
Oh my god. Here it is. This is the mess that I've tried to prop up boards. There's one little drain right here that keeps getting clogged with leaves, but how many times I scoop it clean. The rug, R.I.P. our rug, first rug we ever bought. Let's get over the rug. The rug's gone. Has been blocking the water for the most part of the last half hour, but this drain just won't. So that's this situation.
And if you have dealt with as much crap from this lady as we have, that was like the final straw for us. I was so done. I'm just ready to leave. We had 3 weeks left. It was going to be torture waiting, but we were just ready to leave. This house is a disaster. The reason why the house floods for the most part is because the car park, the cement area at the back of the house is designed really bad. The landlord told us, this lady told us, or told me on the phone, that they built that separate after the house was built so that you had a place to park around the back. And the way that it was designed, it was on a slope, so they inserted a drain right near the back door, which means we can't have a welcome mat or anything to wipe our feet on because it literally is that close to the back door. That drain not only gets clogged up with leaves and debris so easily when it rains because everything washes down from the lawn into it, but it can't go fast enough. It can't drain fast enough when it rains. So a combination of those two things led to us being home, trying to sit there, scooping this drain out as it's flooding, but just watching it flood into the house and just like an inch of water all into the game room.
So I have to sit here and constantly make sure that it's not getting clogged by any leaves or anything because the game room flooded. And it's gonna happen again if I don't sit here while it rains every time it rains. And this is why there's been no content lately, because we've been having to deal with a flooded game room constantly. And at this point, I've just taken all my games and put them into boxes because it's getting worse, and there's nothing I can really do about it. except sit here and watch it happen again.
Desperately throwing the computer up onto the table. Fortunately, because I cleaned all the shelves, we packed it all away, we could start throwing things onto the empty shelves. But just watching all of this flood into the house just broke our hearts. Like, this is, that room is full of, like, we lived in that room essentially. Like, this was a small duplex. We had a bedroom, we had that room, and we had a room with the TV. So this is literally most of our life in this room. We're watching her art stuff get flooded, the closet get flooded with her clothes and art supplies in it. I'm watching my shelves get even more wet than they already were. This time it's hitting my desk, and I'm seeing the fake wood desk that I have. I don't know what you call it. Particle board. I'm watching it all like peel away and just ruin the bottom of everything. It was just heartbreaking, and then out of a desperate attempt to try and stop the flood, my wonderful girl here tried to put kitty litter down in front of the door, and I mean, we were both panicking at that point. We couldn't even think straight, but obviously when it was flooding that much, it just spread the kitty litter all through the house.
You know the worst part? Like, my logic behind it, I was looking for something to stop it, and I saw the label on the kitty litter. It was like, fast clumping action. I was like, oh, good.
We'll clump right near the front
That'll
door.
clump all of it. This will solve our problem.
It clumped through the house. And wet kitty litter just smells like cat pee at this point, because that's what you relate wet kitty litter to, is that smell, and that's what the house smelled like instantly.
To try and stop the water, we put kitty litter in front of the door, and it didn't stop the water. Rather, the water spread it throughout the house. So now there's granules of kitty litter just everywhere. It's in the furniture. It's on our feet. It's down the hall. It's everywhere.
And I think one of the grossest things was you left to try and go get sandbags to block the front door from Home Depot. But while you were gone, I noticed that our bedroom had a separate leak, because this house, the entire thing needs to be condemned. But almost every room, there's like gaps underneath the walls, like to the point where my TV sometimes cords would get stuck underneath the house, because I guess the house would like raise up at some point and then raise back down. I'm not sure how it worked, but I'd have to yank my cords out from under the house. The reason why we got this house was because when I first moved down so we could get married, I hadn't rented here before, and we were going through a visa process, but I didn't have anything solid yet. Actually, it's only been very, very recently that I finally got solid documents in my hand. So I was like, my position here was weird. You'd never rented before. So we couldn't get anywhere from like realtor sites or anything like that. No one wanted to even look at us. So this was like one of them take what we can get just so we can live together places. And we knew it wasn't the best, but we didn't know how bad it was until we moved in and started realizing that half the electricity, half the sockets in the house don't work. Or they just stopped working one day.
They didn't not work when we got there. It's that they were all upside down
for
a start.
Every socket in the house but one in one bathroom is upside down.
Probably because that's a new one.
Everything we plugged in had to get plugged in upside down. And with like some of the heavy bricks that you had to plug upside down, they would fall out of the wall.
The little Glade plug-ins too. It's like you can't plug them in upside down.
Yeah. So the house sucked, and the bedroom started flooding, and all the holes and gaps in the wall, I guess, had an ant and termite infestation in it.
Problem before.
I know.
Too, and I was like, I wonder where they all went. Oh,
we got ant problems all the time. Ants would come into the house. I guess the ants were in the wall, so when it flooded in the bedroom, all the ants like drowned and pulled in. And I just remember seeing that gross mess. I took a video of it for Twitter. This gross mess of dead ants. It was like solid black.
Oh my god, this is gross. Apparently, there's a leak in the side of the house in the bedroom. So now the bedroom carpet is ruined, and this is disgusting. I guess there are a ton of ants in the wall that have tried to flee from the flooding. So now we have, just so many dead ants in a flooded bedroom.
That was the point. Like we've had so much thrown at us. But it was when I saw those ants that I knew as soon as you were getting home, I was going to tell you, we are moving. Like, we have 3 weeks left in this place, but we cannot live here anymore. Even if we wanted to try and clean everything up, it would make no sense because we'd have to take everything out of the house, clean the entire house, put everything back in for like, what, 2 weeks?
And hope that it doesn't flood again because it's supposed to rain for like the next 2 weeks.
And the water that was coming in was gross.
It was
Like,
yellow.
I was out there with a bucket trying to scoop it like I was on a freaking ship that was sinking and throw the water and like I was and divert the water somewhere else. And this white bucket had like brown water in it. And that was the brown water that got in our house, all up the walls, all over our stuff, everywhere. So the house stinks right now when you go into it because it's a mix of like kitty litter, it's a mix of brown water, and it's a mix of just like wet walls and wet stuff that's just drying out on its own in this house.
I wanted to show you guys how we've been having to open this door for the last few months. Ever since it started raining. And the worst part is when you're on the inside. When you're on the inside, you can't shoulder thrust it. So you literally... I am not exaggerating. Oh God, I might have locked myself in. Oh, holy crap. I needed both hands. I couldn't do it without both hands. I am so glad we're not here anymore.
We've called the landlord again, by the way. We called her after the first time and said, hey, there might be water damage, and she didn't care. We called her the second time and said, hey, not only is there water damage, but you know how I called you like a month ago about termites, and we can talk about that? Well, there's definitely ants and termites in the wall because they got everywhere. She said, okay, I'll call in what do you call it for the bugs? Exterminator? We'll call an exterminator and someone to come look at the water damage tomorrow. That would have been on Saturday. It's Monday right now, haven't heard from her. She doesn't care. When I called her about termites like a month ago, I found when I put that new shelf in, that new 12 cube shelf that you might have noticed in my game room that looked good for a while, I ended up rearranging my game room and I found a bunch of termites behind my game room. So at some point since we moved in, they had like infested and they were like with wings, which when they die with wings or something like that, it means that they're heavily infested. I called her, I'm like, hey, we're leaving in a month, so this is your problem really, like we can clean it up for now and then just be done with it, we don't care, but you have termites in this property. You know what she said to us? What did she say to us, Kim?
She's like to put Windex on.
She said spray Windex on them, that'll get them, that'll take care of it. A literal infestation, and she said just spray Windex on them. So
It's infested, but they're lemony fresh, so it's fine.
and that's where we lived.
The plan is, because this is the least wet room, it's just kind of soggy, but it didn't actually get, I wouldn't say flooded. We're going to take everything out of that room and put it into this room so that we can dry that room. We ain't staying here anymore. We have 3 weeks left before we were supposed to move, and we'll find somewhere else to live. An Airbnb, I'll message Billy and see if we can stay there for a few weeks. We just got the cats to think about. As long as they're going to be okay, I don't care where I am, as long as it's not here.
I mean, probably. Oh, he's a good boy. They're happier in this house too, which is nice. I do want to say, and I don't know how to word this. It was something that I thought in my head space, but I'm really glad I have you. And we've been through a lot at this point, like a stupid amount. Even before this house. But this house, I feel, could easily have broken so many couples. Like, we literally put up with
It was a nightmare.
hell in this house, and we took a house that we wouldn't otherwise have taken just so we could live together. And the amount of stuff that was thrown at us, from sleepless nights when it was stupidly hot, ant infestations, bugs coming in from the other house, the other duplex, because they're trash slugs, and who knows what they have going on in there.
None of the lights
The
are working.
The flooding stuff now, like there was literally a moment where we were both just in tears when the house was, because we were stood there just watching the house be flooded.
At that point, it was just
and there was nothing we could do. Like we just stood there literally watching it get flooded more and more. And we were like, what do we do? And that's what we were saying. What do we do? And we were just in tears at that point.
There was nothing to do with that.
And just all of that together, even when things weren't going wrong and they were okay for a week or so, it was just depressing, just being there in this dark house that half the lights didn't work in, the electricity didn't work in. But my point is, the house was horrible. We were really depressed in it, and it led to some bad times in general, just between us because of how much we hated the house. But at the end of every day, we told each other that we would get through that house, and we did. And I think we're not only stronger for it, but the fact that we got through that together tells me that the rest of our lives are going to be easy, and
I don't suspect anything is going to be as difficult as living in that house for a year.
I'm just happy that I have you. It wasn't really a high five moment, but that's fine.
Simon.
Simon, that's my water. Buddy. What the heck, man?
You won't even look up.
Oi,
What? Oh, he's got a glass in it.
that's my water, Simon.
There's going to be a lot more time that we have to spend cleaning and moving and taking care of things. And then in 3 weeks, we're going to have to move, obviously. So the next month on the channel might be really random. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to, as best I can, make content. Like, I have 3 weeks right now before we move where I can make as much as I can and much as I feasibly can in this house. Live streaming is going to be a little easier than making videos for a while. So make sure you follow me on Twitch. And check out my live streams here when I do them. I'm actually going to be live streaming right now, probably on both Twitch and YouTube. So the next month or so might be weird on the channel, but then once we're moved into the house and I have a game room again, things will be back to normal. I appreciate you guys staying here and hanging out and watching this video, and I appreciate everyone that will stick around for the next month and watch whatever videos I can throw together. And I appreciate all the love and support that you've shown me on Twitter. Patreons have been super supportive. Obviously, those are the people that pay to get content on the channel, and there hasn't been any, so I appreciate you guys hanging in there. And yeah, I love you all so much, and thanks for supporting me, because trust me, right now we need it. It's been I've been trying to not let it get to my head the fact that not only can I not make videos, which is what I do as a job. Like, you've been going to your job still, but I've been like cleaning and doing everything, and I feel like I'm not making us any money while we're just like Airbnb, stuff to clean, garbage bags, moving boxes every day. Just eating out too. We had to eat out because we didn't.
So much.
We were moving so much. We just kept eating out, and it's just every day. It was like, oh my god.
It's making us so tired because like all the fast food is just.
Yeah, which is why I don't want to. I'm not paying that lady any more rent because we don't have it.
The amount that we've had to
We
spend
don't have it.
trying to get out of that house.
All right, guys, that's all. Thank you. Love you. See you soon. Bye.
So one of our heroes that fell in this nightmare of a situation is the Zelda standee. It's destroyed. There is no saving it. It's completely ruined. This fella bought him in Canada. I shoved him in a car and brought him all the way down here. Somehow made that trip. But didn't survive this house. Sorry, buddy.